What's up, everyone? Today is American League West Division Preview Day here on Flippin' Bats, and I am pumped because this division has a lot of talent. There's a lot of teams that are much improved. There's some teams that aren't as good as they were last year, but I do think this could be a very competitive race here in this division. So today we're going to break down the entire American League West, all the teams, and ultimately who I think finishes first in the division. So we'll go from 5 to number 1 in the American League West and ultimately pick who I think is going to win the division, and then talk about how I see the division shaking out and things that could happen, and a lot to discuss here. So we have it. This is opening week. Thursday is opening day in Major League Baseball. Cannot wait for Thursday. So order of business here on the show today is the AL West preview. And then tomorrow we will do the NL West preview. And then the following day, the day before opening day, we're going to do full season predictions. So World Series champion, Cy Young Award, MVP Award, Rookie of the Year Award, all the playoff teams and how I think they advance in the playoffs. My preseason predictions are often way better than my postseason predictions. So this is the time of year to get it right. So got a lot coming out this week. Opening day is Thursday. If you missed it, on Friday, we came out with a full fantasy baseball breakdown. So if you still have your draft to go, or it's coming up soon, or you just want to hear players that I think are going to do well, some that I don't think will do well, and some sleepers, go listen to that. But that was a really fun episode. Top 5 players to go get, top 5 to avoid, top 5 sleepers, and talked about the Angels' new no cell phone policy. The Los Angeles Angels implemented a rule where you can't have your cell phone while you're at your locker. Wild, but we'll see if it works. And we're going to start the American League West preview with who I think finishes in 5th in this division. And to me, that is those Los Angeles Angels. They are plus 2,000 on FanDuel Sportsbook to win the division. I do think roster-wise they have improved. Added Jorge Soler, Travis d'Arnaud, Yusei Kikuchi on the mound, Kyle Hendricks on the mound, and Kevin Newman as a utility guy. So I do think those additions are good. I'm excited to see Logan O'Hoppe behind the plate. And hopefully see him become one of the better catchers in the game of baseball this year. Mike Trout, still elite, in my opinion. He was named a number 39 player in the game of baseball. I think that's ridiculous. So I think Mike Trout's still elite. To me, vibes are just weird there. Vibes are just off in Anaheim right now when it comes to this team. The rotation of Yusei Kikuchi, Jose Soriano, Tyler Anderson, Kyle Hendricks, Reed Detmers. I'm not a massive believer in that rotation. So combination of not good starters, vibes just being off. This no cell phone thing confuses me. They haven't figured out how to win there in Anaheim. Not a believer of this team. And I think when it comes down to it, they ultimately finish in dead last in the American League West this year, despite some of their additions. And yeah, I don't see it. But I do have them coming in 5th because the team I have coming in 4th, I do believe is going to improve big time this year. 4th place team for me in the American League West is the Athletics. No longer the Oakland Athletics. I don't think we're calling them the Sacramento Athletics. They're just the Athletics. And I expect them to be an improved team this year. Look, let's talk last year. Last year, starting July 1st through the rest of the season. So that's basically half the season. The A's went 39-38, over 500 for basically half the season. They are an improved team. They add Luis Severino to the rotation. You add Jeffrey Springs to the rotation. You add Gio Urshela to the offense. Then we start talking about this team that has Lawrence Butler, who's going to lead off. Really, really good once he came up last year. I expect him to be good. We could be talking about an all-star player. Brent Rooker is an all-star. In fact, he's an underrated star. Top 8 in OPS in all of baseball last year. Top 8. tied for fourth in home runs behind only Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, Juan Soto. That's how good he is at the plate. I mean, I expect him to. His numbers last year were absolutely insane. 39 homers, an OPS well over 900, almost 1,000 OPS for the entire season. Brent Rooker's a star. So you add him into the middle of that offense, Lawrence Butler, and then, I wouldn't say there's a ton of depth in this lineup, and that's why I'm saying I'm still a believer in them to be improved. But I'm not going to pick them to push super high into the division. But I wouldn't be shocked if the A's finish over 500 for the 2025 season. But they are plus 2,600 to win the division. Those are the worst odds. But I do think they'll finish ahead of the Los Angeles Angels. I have the A's coming in fourth in the AL West. Let's move on and talk number 3. The team I have finishing in third is the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners are plus 210 to win the division. Ultimately, just disappointing. Disappointing team. I continually want to believe in this Seattle Mariners team because of one reason. I guess technically 5 reasons, and that's the starting rotation. With this rotation that the Mariners have, they should easily be a top team in baseball, but they continually do nothing when it comes to their offense. Rotation-wise, Logan Gilbert, Luis Castillo, George Kirby, Brian Wu, Emerson Hancock. That's the best rotation in baseball, to be honest. 1 through 5, that's absolutely insane. But they just don't do anything. They never add offensively around it. You have this rotation that's in their prime. They're controllable. It's a cheap rotation, yet you can't go out and do what you need to offensively. It's a joke. It's honestly a joke. Justin Turner was there last year. He's aging, right? He's not the player he once was. But Justin Turner blasted them this offseason. And basically said, this is what he said. Their offseason is a head scratcher. He said he wanted to return for 2025, but he didn't want to be the only move. And these are his direct quotes. The fact they missed the playoffs by 1 game and didn't go out and add an impact bat or 2 when you have the best pitching staff in baseball just seems absurd to me. As much as I wanted to go back there, even if I signed there and I was going to be the only piece they brought back in, I would be saying the same thing. What the hell are we doing? Are we even trying? There's not going to be a better time to go for it, so I don't know what they're doing. I'm very confused. It's a head scratcher for me. And that's how everyone around the game should feel. And I know Mariners fans feel this way. You have Julio Rodriguez, who's a star. I think he's a superstar in this game. And I think he's not doing as well yet as he could due to a couple reasons. 1, injuries keep creeping in. But 2, he's by far the best player on this team. He's getting maybe 1 or 2 pitches a game. Other than that, you pitch around him. Let anybody else hurt you. Don't let Julio hurt you. The dude's a star. He's an MVP caliber player that isn't reaching his full potential because the team's putting nobody around them. I mean, the projected Mariners lineup right now is Victor Robles, Julio Rodriguez, Cal Raleigh, Randy Arozarena, Luke Raley, Mitch Haniger, J.P. Crawford, Jorge Polanco, Ryan Bliss. What are we doing? With that rotation, what are you doing? Go add some of the bats that were out there this offseason. Anthony Santander, Pete Alonso was available. Juan Soto was available. JD Martinez is still out there and available. Just so many names this offseason that you could have gone to get to improve your offense, and you just didn't do it. So I'm a believer in this rotation big time. That's why I think they finish in third. But count me out on the offense. Probably the worst offense in the division, to be honest. That's how bad it is. Angels offense much improved. A's offense much improved. Mariners offense, honestly, worse. Honestly, worse than it was last year. The same or worse. It's insane. So when it comes to the Seattle Mariners, their ceiling of how good they can be can only go but so high. Their win total set at 85.5. That's how many games they won last year. I think 85. They're it For them to get to that number, everything has to go perfectly, right? No rotation injuries. I just think their ceiling can only be but so high, but their floor is low. Low. I mean, I could see the A's finishing ahead of the Mariners in a world. I don't have that. I don't think that's going to happen. But the Mariners' floor is so low because if you start dealing with rotational injuries, I wouldn't. Brian Wu was dealing with a lot. George Kirby dealing with an injury. So, this team, their floor is low and their ceiling is not but so high. I have the Mariners finishing in third place in this division. Let's move on to I have finishing in second in the American League West this year. I am going to go with the Texas Rangers at plus 190 on FanDuel Sportsbook to win the division. Now, this one gets tricky. The Rangers are very good. The Rangers are going to be a good team this year. I think Wyatt Langford is going to step into the middle of the lineup. Wyatt Langford last year was underwhelming in terms of the lofty expectations that he did have heading into the year. Rookie of the Year, front runner, is expected to be great. Ended up with a 110 WRC plus, which is above average. He ended up having a solid rookie year. His September, he had a fantastic September. WRC plus well over 150. Those numbers seemingly proved that Wyatt Langford figured it out. So now you start the lineup with Marcus Semien, Corey Seager, Wyatt Langford. You added Jock Peterson. So the offense, I think, is great. I would say the Rangers' offense is great. I have pitching concerns with the Rangers. There's a lot of question marks. The ultimate question mark being Jacob deGrom, right? He's back in the rotation. What are you going to get? If it's any sort of resemblance of the Jacob deGrom that we all know and how dominant he is, well, great. There's your ace of a staff, and there's potentially your Cy Young Award winner. But there's so many injury concerns. He's coming off of multiple injuries. There's just a lot of question marks with how good he's going to be, but mostly how much he's going to pitch. I think we would all love Jacob deGrom to be healthy. I think we would all love to see him perform well and stay healthy over the course of a full year and see him pitch hundreds of innings, right? See him pitch 150, 200 innings. But is that likely? That's why part of the reason I have them finishing in second place. John Gray already hurt. So you're really relying on, when I look at this rotation that's currently scheduled to be Nathan Eovaldi, Tyler Mahle, Jack Leiter, Kumar Rocker, Jacob deGrom. When I look at that, I think, okay, we're relying heavily on Jack Leiter, Kumar Rocker, Jacob deGrom. Big time relying on those guys. Question mark, major health question marks. So I just have rotation concerns. I don't think the rotation holds up over the course of 162, and that's why I have them finishing in second. There's just too many question marks for a rotation. If you can tell me this team can get to the playoffs, then sure, those question marks subside because you can figure out who's throwing well and who can be a starter. But over the course of 162 games, I have too many rotation question marks to have them finishing first in this division. But offense is really good. Pitching could be really good, just too many concerns. High ceiling for the Rangers for sure, though. But finishing in first place in the division, I'm going to take the Houston Astros at plus 170 to win the division. Here's why. One, the lineup is still great. Right? Is it the best offense? Is it a better offense than the Texas Rangers? I don't know. It's close, but you still have Jose Altuve. You still have Yordan Alvarez. You still have Jeremy Pena. You still have Yainer Diaz, who was really good last year. And then you add some improvements. Christian Walker is a massive upgrade at first base. I think adding Paredes will be really good over there at third base, specifically because of the Crawford boxes. The dude just yanks and pulls everything down the line. I think he could hit 30 homers this year. The loss of Kyle Tucker does hurt, right? There's no way around that, obviously. This is an obvious statement. Kyle Tucker's an MVP caliber player. You lose him, that's going to hurt. But you have a really solid rotation. I like this rotation a lot. I think it's far better than I think it's better than the Rangers rotation over the course of 162. Give me Framber Valdez, Hunter Brown, Ronel Blanco, Spencer Arrighetti, who was good last year, and then Hayden Wesniewski added from the Cubs in that Kyle Tucker trade. Luis Garcia crept back in with injuries, and there's big-time concerns there. That's not good. Lance McCullers back on the mound for the first time the other day since 2022. But a big reason that I have the Houston Astros winning the division is how much I believe in that piece that they acquired for Kyle Tucker, Cam Smith. I think Cam Smith is going to make the team. As I'm currently recording, that has not been announced. But I think Cam Smith can make the team. I think Cam Smith can win American League Rookie of the Year. His numbers in spring training are absurd. He's hitting over 400 with a 1,300 OPS, a 500 on base percentage, and he has done everything possible to make the team for the Houston Astros and be the everyday right fielder. I think he came into spring training thinking, okay, Chas McCormick is going to be our guy in right field this year. He is what he is. He's going to play good defense. Offensively, hasn't been great, but we'll be fine. Cam Smith has forced the hand of the Houston Astros to be the everyday right fielder. I think that will happen. I think he can end up slotting in somewhere in the 6-7 spot in the lineup and really lengthening what the Astros are able to do offensively. So Cam Smith, Rookie of the Year, Altuve at the top, Yordan in the middle, Christian Walker's fantastic. My bold prediction is that Christian Walker finishes top 3 in the MVP voting in the American League. I think this Astros team is certainly very good. I understand people are down on them just because it's the Astros. They've been there year in and year out, and the team has changed now, and Kyle Tucker's not there. I don't care. This team is still good enough to win the American League West. This team is still good enough. If Cam Smith steps up and becomes the player I think he can be this year, this team is good enough to win the American League. This rotation, Framber, Hunter Brown, Blanco in a playoff series, fine. The rotation, great. Or the offense, great. I think the Houston Astros win the American League West once again this year and finish first place and make some noise come playoff time. So, American League West for me finishes Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. 5th, the Athletics of Sacramento. 4th, the Seattle Mariners. 3rd, the Texas Rangers. 2nd, and the Houston Astros finishing once again in first place in this division. The big talking points here, I would say there's 3 teams odds-wise. If you look at the odds based on FanDuel Sportsbook, there's 3 teams that could legitimately win this division. Houston Astros plus 170, Texas Rangers plus 190, Seattle Mariners plus 210. In my opinion, this is a 2-team race. The Mariners aren't good enough. The offense is not good enough to win the division. It's the same team once again. It's a team that is going to pitch the lights out. Any given night they could win. Any given night they can lose 2-1. And that'll happen a lot. So I think they're a team that'll be around 500 for a while, maybe make a push here or there. They'll be right on the cusp of the playoffs, and then they'll just miss out, as they often do. And this is frustrating to say. I like the Mariners. I like to see the Mariners be good. I love Seattle. I love Julio. But I don't think they're good enough offensively to win the division, unfortunately. So when it comes to the AL West, I see it being a 2-team race. Houston Astros versus the Texas Rangers. Here's the cold, hard truth. The Texas Rangers' ceiling is the highest. The Astros have the highest floor. So what I'm saying is, with all of the question marks that the Rangers have, I don't think all of those are going to be answered properly. There's too many question marks. And if everything goes right, they win the division. But you're telling me Jacob deGrom is in the rotation and healthy for the majority of the year. Corey Seager stays healthy all year long. Adolis Garcia stays healthy. He's already dealing with an oblique injury. Stays healthy, and is he 220 Adolis Garcia, or is he World Series 2023 World Series Adolis Garcia? Evan Carter dealt with massive injuries last year, had to get surgery, was not the same player he was in 2023, and then back injuries. Is he the 2020 player that I think he certainly can be? Rotation question marks left and right. Jack Leiter, Kumar Rocker, are they going to be good in the big leagues? Those answers could all be yes. And if they are yes, the Texas Rangers win the division. But I just think the Houston Astros floor is far higher than the Rangers, and I think not all those question marks are properly answered by the Rangers, and I don't think they're going to be good enough to win the division. So can they be a playoff team? Absolutely. We'll discuss that more on Wednesday's full season preview, if I think the Rangers make the playoffs or not. But I do think the Houston Astros are going to ultimately win the division once again. When it comes to the Astros, the biggest question mark is Jose Altuve. That's the biggest question mark coming into the year with the Astros. It's Jose Altuve and playing the outfield. One, what are we doing? I said this before. I stand by it. I get Altuve's defense at second base has declined, but this is a Hall of Famer, a future first ballot Hall of Famer, in my opinion, and we're moving him away from his position to play outfield where he's clearly not comfortable, just so that Mauricio Dubon can play second base, who's going to be better defensively. Let's put Dubon in left field and play Altuve back where he's played his entire career. And I get everyone, I said this before, and people would say, he's not good there at second base. He's not good. Well, guess what? I love Jose Altuve. He's not good in left field either. And maybe you're saying there's more room for mistakes out there. Fine. You're not involved in double plays. You're not involved in ground balls. You have the Crawford boxes behind you. It's not that big of a deal if he's not good defensively out there. But I would disagree. I don't think he's ready. This spring training, he's missed multiple routine fly balls, just clanked him off his glove. And I know everybody out there laughs and thinks, how can that happen? You're a major leaguer. We're talking about a future Hall of Famer going to play a position that he's not comfortable with. Catching fly balls ain't easy. I was out there my entire career, right? I played a little bit of first base, but the majority of my career was played in the outfield. It's not easy. When it comes to playing the corner outfield spots, honestly, if you're fast and can get good jumps, playing center field is the place to be. The corner outfield spots, you're dealing with spin off the bat, lefties. Left-handed batter, the ball's going to spin towards the foul line typically. Right-handed batter, the ball's going to spin towards the foul line over there as well in right field. But if you're a left fielder, a righty, pulling the ball, it could tail towards the gap. There's just spin left and right that you need to figure out, and it's not easy to play the outfield. So one, give Altuve a break. Two, I'm not supportive of him moving out there. I still think he should be the second baseman for the Houston Astros, but apparently opening day, it's been decided Jose Altuve is going to be playing left field. I think that's the biggest question mark for the team. Is Jose Altuve any good out there? If not, put him back at second base, put Dubon in left field, problem solved. I don't know. I think that's what we should be doing, but it's not what we're doing, and it's for defensive purposes. But I think the Astros have far less question marks. Jose Altuve is going to hit. Isaac Paredes probably in the 2-hole. A guy that works the count. It's going to hit for some pop. Could hit you 30 homers. Yordan Alvarez, stud. 300 batting average. 40 homers. Absolute stud. Christian Walker in the 4-hole. Big improvement from first base issues of the past. Yiner, Jeremy Pena, Cam Smith, who I think is going to be Rookie of the Year. The Astros' floor is way higher than anybody else in this division. And for that reason, I say they're going to win the American League West. So, fun American League West preview. It is a 3-team race when you look at it. Don't count out the A's. The Angels are definitely improved. So, everybody in this division, besides maybe the Seattle Mariners, has improved. I think everybody's going to be able to win games this year. The Angels I have in 5th place just because culture's bad, but I think they have improved. The A's have improved. The Mariners pitching is going to keep them in every single game. Texas Rangers offense is elite. Pitching is going to be really fun to watch. All those question marks. The Rangers are going to be fun. The Astros, really high floor. I think they're certainly a playoff team, and I think they win the American League West. So that's the AL West preview. Tomorrow, we're going to do NL West. We're going to wrap up the division previews with the National League West, and that comes tomorrow. You have all those teams over there. A really good division, I think. Obviously, the favorite to win is the Los Angeles Dodgers, but Giants, I think, are going to be much improved. Padres, really good team. Rockies, probably not going to be great, but a lot of really good talent out there in the National League West, including the Arizona Diamondbacks. I'm excited for that. We'll break it all down tomorrow, go 5 through 1 in the division, maybe some surprises, maybe not, and then the following day, we get full season predictions. It is opening week, my friends, and I could not be more pumped. 2025 is the year of Flippin' Bats. If you're listening right now on podcast, please make sure you subscribe wherever you listen, Apple, Spotify, wherever. Hit that subscribe button. Share it with a friend. If you love baseball, if you know somebody that loves baseball, this show is hopefully, in my opinion, for them. I don't trash talk. I don't use negativity to get views or whatever. It's just about the game of baseball, celebrating the game of baseball, and I am locked in for 2025 and cannot wait to talk baseball with you guys all year long. YouTube as well. You can watch everything on our YouTube channel, Flippin' Bats Pod there. We're on all social media at Flippin' Bats Pod everywhere. This is the AL West preview. Tomorrow is the NL West preview. For today, that does it. Remember, everyone, until next time, find your bat and flip it.